Hi, I'm Nikki Ross, equine behaviourist specialising in horse-human relationships. So today we are going to have a sneaky look backstage at the Horseplay Learning Hub. So every month we have a meetup and we discuss different concepts. And on this particular one, we are looking at some case studies. So I presented the group with the case studies. They went off into their separate groups in their breakout rooms online, discussed it, made notes, and this is a little snapshot of the feedback. If you want to find out more about the hub, I have put some information at the end for you.
So case study 1, the aggressive gelding. Background: Max is a 12-year-old Irish sports horse, gelding, who recently developed aggressive behavior towards his handler. His owner reports that he was previously well-mannered, but has become increasingly difficult over the past 2 months. He is presenting the following behaviors: ears pinned back when he's being groomed, particularly around the girth and lower back area. Attempts to bite when the saddle is placed on his back. Stamps his feet and swishes his tail excessively during tacking up. Has bucked several times when first asked to canter under saddle, and shows tension in his jaw and reluctance to accept the bit.
Step 1 was identifying the problem. So what were your key behaviours of concern?
Yeah, all the physical signs of him being uncomfortable.
Yeah. What patterns did you notice?
Every time he was being touched, physically touched, or the handler owner was near, he would display aggression.
Aggression, or what would you class tail swishing as and ears pinned as?
Distance increasing signals.
Yeah, well done.
I always miss that one out.
What emotional state is this horse displaying?
He is anxious, stressed.
Is this a positive, a negative, or a neutral emotional state?
Negative.
Yeah. If we were doing a welfare assessment, he'd be on that left-hand side of the
Who was it? Was it Alison who pointed out that he was in this high stressed state?
Kirsty,
and Kirsty, and therefore learning would be, and as you said, Nikki, the learning it takes longer.
And we also said he wasn't being listened to.
Yes.
One thing that we might want to consider is if he's being turned out with companions in the same field, whether there's been a change in the relationship with those companions.
Yes, good point.
Because maybe it's not from the jumping. Maybe there's some other factor here occurring.
Or it could be the pain, and therefore he feels more uncomfortable being turned out with the companions. That can be also.
Or separation anxiety as well. Being left, taken away from his companions.
It could be, but this is a new behaviour, isn't it?
Oh, true.
So if it's a new behaviour and nothing else has changed, no recent changes to his turnout routine or companions.
Yeah, okay. So no, you can rule that one out. Yeah.
But those questions may be worth asking if you didn't have that information, you know.
Yeah.
So my question to you, Nikki, is those relationships with companions, they change sometimes, right?
Yeah.
They're not always the same, depending on each horse's what's happening in their worlds, right?
That's true. And pain is a good catalyst for change in her dynamic.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are words that the owner uses that make me think that punishment is involved. In your background history, the owner reports that he was previously well-mannered, but has become increasingly difficult over the past 2 months.
Okay.
When I hear an owner say, oh, he's really well-mannered, he needs to mind his manners, That tells me something about the mindset of the
Of the
owner
human.
or trainer or handler.
Yeah.
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 That vocabulary tells you a lot. You start to hear, when you hear people talking about the horses, you start to hear red flag phrases like respect, manners, put in certain contexts. He's got to know his boss, he's got to have his manners. It's not okay for him to behave like that around people. This language gives you a good indicator of the kind of relationship that horse has with his carer. Okay, development solutions. How are we going to help this little horsey? Immediate priorities, safety and welfare.
Vet check. Bring a vet in to have a full examination.
Vet check. That is your first, most important one to go with.
Yeah. But yes, give him a total break from everything. Let him be a horse.
And what's that going to do? Physiologically speaking, what's that going to be? What's that going to do?
That will help regulate his nervous system.
It will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll tell him that we're listening to him finally.
Yes.
Which another way of saying that is giving him
agency.
Yes.
Yay!
Use the language. It's important that we use the language. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Agency.
Yeah. Well done, Doug. Yeah. Good. Agency is one of the most powerful ways of changing a horse's behavior. Mm-hmm. It's incredibly powerful, and it's one that gets missed all the time.
Why do you say giving him a break will give him agency?
It's not the giving him a break, it's what Doug said about listening to him.
Yeah.
Listening
but how
to
is the
him
owner
gives agency.
How's the owner going to listen to him when she treats him like she or he does at the moment?
So this is your treatment. This is your treatment block. So this is the information you'd be giving to the owner. So you would be teaching the owner, this is what you're looking for. Red behaviors, amber behaviors, green behaviors. So this is your treatment program. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good question. This section here, step 3 is, this is how we're going to help this horse. And it's things that we're going to do for the horse, but it's largely education for the owner. So the other thing about stopping training, training is a trigger in this situation. It's triggering. Anything to do with training, anything to do with touch, anything to do with saddling, is triggering the aggression. How do we build brain pathways? How do you make them stronger? Repetition. If we keep repeating the behaviors, the context that is triggering the behavior, we make the behavior stronger. So the only way to change the physiology of the brain is to stop the triggering. You can't solve this problem while still making those pathways stronger, which is where the agency comes in, because that will change the way the owner relates to the horse. And that's why we'll hopefully address the pain if they find it and if they can treat it. Change the pathways in the brain that have already been created. It won't change associative learning, and it won't change memory of learning, which is why the whole approach to that horse and that horse's life needs to change. It's not just about the physical. There's a big psychological impact that this experience has had on the horse. And you might
this is pain memory,
but also associative learning and pathways in the brain that are being triggered. That pathway doesn't just disappear when the pain disappears, it's still there. So if you go back to, even when the pain goes, you go back to the same patterns, triggers the same pathway, you get the same behaviors, whether the pain's there or not. And that's kind of what pain memory is, but it's a creation in the brain. There may also be a need for counter conditioning. So you can't, like for whenever he sees the saddle, he may now be classically conditioned automatic response to fear that saddle or show pain response to that saddle. So you'll have to actively change the conditioning of when he sees that saddle and any other associated with it, because you've got your long-term potentiation, which is the pathway getting stronger. You've also got associative long-term potentiation, which is all the other pathways that attach to that pathway. It all starts bleeding into those as well. So maybe now when he hears a tack door go, he starts to feel anxious. When he sees a head collar, he starts to feel anxious. When he's tied up a certain point or taken to a certain stable, he starts to feel anxious, because it's now the associative LTP, that associative learning, is linked, is bled into those other things, especially if it's been going on for longer than a week or two. Agency is really powerful, and you go a lot quicker when the horse has choice, control, and challenge in whatever situation it is, even if it's a painful medical procedure. If you give the horse choice, control, and challenge, they will often choose to participate because they know they can stop it at any time, as opposed to being forced into it.
Gosh, and you think of all the horses that have problems with saddles or lameness, and then we just get the vet, we do the rehab, and we think, oh, they're going to be fine now.
Yeah. And then it suddenly comes back really quickly with something else, or they get rehomed and it suddenly all comes back.
Yeah.
Because you re-trigger the situations, all the triggers come back.
Yeah.
Alison also wrote enriched environments, and to give him the gold standard, which we had added for the environment.
So enrichment is your rebuilding the brain. That's what's going to help them flick from constantly flicking into the flight and fight section and going into the thinking and reasoning. We want to strengthen the thinking and reasoning and decrease the fight and flight. And enrichment at an appropriate level for that horse, increasing difficulty at the right time at the appropriate levels for the horse, like it's all in that enrichment module. That's what reprograms the brain. It's a major thing. Everyone's, I'll just put a bit of enrichment in because it will give my horse something to do. It's such a big part of rehabilitation, enrichment, that it actually helps to reprogram the brain when the horse is on their own, taking part in those activities with agency. So they're choosing to engage with them in their own time, in their own space. It's not like we're taking them into an environment and forcing them to engage in it. It's in their own field. Very good. Very good, guys. You've got loads in there. We've covered a range of topics in this video, and I hope you're starting to see how everything connects. Because here's the thing. Having a depth and breadth of knowledge and understanding in equine behaviour helps clarify your communication with your horse. It helps you resolve training and behaviour challenges effectively, and ultimately builds a closer, more authentic and mutually beneficial relationship with your horse. But I know it can feel overwhelming when you're faced with a mass of information online. That's why I've created the Horseplay Learning Hub. The Learning Hub systematically guides you through evaluating, addressing and evolving your relationship with your horse. So you'll gain deeper understanding of equine communication, motivation and perception. We dive into the evidence-based science of ethology, psychology and physiology, so you can truly understand the world through your horse's eyes. This isn't just a course, it's a supportive, friendly and informed community of people who are on the same journey as you. If you're ready to deepen your understanding and connection with your horse, click the link in the description below to answer a few questions about you and your horse and book a call with me. We'll chat about your goals and help you figure out the best path forward. See you there.